Happy to have you along. We are joined, as always, by Greg Engert, Beer Director for the Neighborhood Restaurant Group, a Food and Wine Sommelier of the Year. The group includes where we are, Bluejacket Brewery, the Arsenal Restaurant, also, of course, Iron Gate in DuPont. Greg, it is always good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Such a lovely sunny day. What is on tap this week?
Well, so for a lovely sunny day, we have kind of a lovely sunny beer. This is a new beer that we just released here at Bluejacket, and it's called Lullaby. It is another one of our many collaboration beers, this time with a very close friend of ours named Raphael Mettler, and he is the owner and brewmaster of Brasserie Trois Dames in St. Croix, Switzerland. So we've known Raphael for many years. We've been serving his beers at Church Key and Birch and Barley for a number of years as well. And we had the opportunity to do an event with him last year at Church Key, and at that time, I told him, I said, you know, next time you're in the U.S., we'll have a brewery open and we'll have to do a beer together. So, excuse me, fast forward to about a month ago, he was around, he came down, and we put this beer together.
Nice.
Let's taste it and then we'll talk about what it is.
Lovely color. Ah. Oh my, that is good, and that is what's in there. It's something different. I like it though.
So we knew the warm weather was coming. Baseball season is upon us. So we were looking for something kind of, you know, quaffable, something for this beautiful late spring, early summertime. And it turns out, you know, Raphael makes lots and lots of different kinds of beers at his brewery. He makes lots of great hop-driven beers that he typically keeps local, where they're fresher in Switzerland and in the continent. But then he exports a lot of Belgian-style beers, a lot of sours as well. And one of the beers I've always had a particular affinity for is a beer he makes called Fraîcheur de Soir au Basilic, which is basically a fresh beer for a cool evening with basil. And it's a stronger wit beer, Belgian-style wit beer, that is brewed with coriander, orange peel, and then some basil. So we were starting to think about what if we brewed a nuanced version of this beer in collaboration, changed up the hops, changed up the spicings to, you know, kind of bring the Bluejacket hop character and the spice and culinary character that we like to bring to the table, and came up with Lullaby, this kind of gentle beer. So it's a Belgian wit beer at its base, about 40% wheat, some malted, some unmalted, gives it that great kind of weedy, refreshing character. Rather than orange peel, we added lemon peel, lemon zest. So it's got a little bit of lemony quality. Kept the coriander, a little bit of black pepper, which you definitely get in the finish, kind of spices things up. And then we used lavender wands, which is basically the flower and tip of lavender as well. And so that gives it that beautiful kind of perfumed, floral aromatic. And just as a last homage to Raphael and the beer that I love, we added even just a touch of basil to draw the connection. I should lastly say that we also utilized some Citra hops and some Nelson Sauvin hops that works really nicely with the lavender for that kind of grassy floral note in the nose.
It's a real fun ride from start to finish. It lingers and it changes, and that's what's really nice about it. And it's fun with these types of beers when you don't tell me ahead of time.
Right. Yeah. What is
how they're made.
And I think because you're right, and the fun thing about it is, at its base, it's still just a great Belgian wit beer. But you know, people have made fantastic classic Belgian wit beers, Allagash White, you know, etc. for so long that when we wanted to play with this, we wanted to change it up. And you know, we love using culinary ingredients, love using interesting, nuanced ingredients like lavender in this case. Love that black pepper culinary spice in the finish. And then really the hopping up with those new varietals of Citra and Nelson really bring it through. But at the end of the day, I think what we've got is something that's possibly an interesting take on the style for somebody who's a beer connoisseur, you know, something new for them to taste within the style, but then it's also just a great beer for everybody. You know, it's really refreshing and drinkable.
So Lullaby does not allude to its ABV.
No, although it is, good question, or good point, it actually is a little bit stronger. Okay. It's about, I think it ended up about 6.9% alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So typical wits are going to be, you know, between 5 and 6. So this is a stronger wit beer. Wanted a little bit more punch, and I think we got it.
If you ran out of your other 19 beers, and this was it, I would not be disappointed.
Yeah, it's really
You guys
awesome.
did a nice job on that. What would you pair it with?
Obviously, this is like pretty easy with anything. I do think, I think of lavender and I think of these kind of fruity, zesty qualities in this and the peppery note. You could just do this with like just fresh fruit, like a fruit salad or something like that. Could do it with any host of lighter seafood. So, from shrimp to scallops to even milder fish like grouper or sea bass, red snapper, something like that. And then also, I think it's a really, really amazing with like fresh goat cheese, just like chèvre, really just fresh and light, or even just with like a classic roast chicken.
Greg, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Everyone, please always do drink responsibly and be sure to bring your thirst next time for another beer of the week.